Nothing's off limits with this duo. It's father and daughter, Don and Cher. And join the club if you're a Chattermouth.
Hey y'all, it's Cher and
Dawn.
And welcome back to Chattermouth Podcast. We are so excited.
Yes.
We have such a good episode planned for y'all. It's actually going to be super sweet because today we have on CindyMarie from My Super Sweet 16, Season 2, Episode 6.
Unbelievable.
I am literally so excited to talk with her. We're going to talk all about Sweet 16, our Sweet 16 days, where we are now, how it impacted us. We have a good show planned for you. So,
Adorable.
Cindy, I'm going to have you take it away. Hi.
Hi, how are you guys? This is Kaylani.
Hi. Oh my God, she's smiling.
Yes, she is.
So cute. Wait a second. How old is she now?
She is going to be 8 months Friday.
Oh my, you are the cutest little
so
thing. Oh my gosh. Can you believe like we both have daughters now? Like mine.
It's wild.
It's insane. My episode was just about literally 16 years ago this month. Like that's insane.
It is insane.
And people
I
still,
know.
for me, people still recognize me from that show, which I had blonde hair.
yeah.
Do you still get that too?
I do. It's really weird. I mean, it was weird then because I'm like, okay, it's about the Sweet 16. You know, it's not like we had like a full reality show or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they would come up to me and be like, I want a picture of you. I mean, also living in New York, people are like, oh, I want to fight you. So I'm like, okay.
Wait, people wanted to fight you just for being on the show?
Oh, no, I got into physical altercations. I did. I'm
Stop.
not gonna
Really?
lie about it. Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
That is so crazy. Because you
Yeah.
were like this cute, like you still are, but you're like
Yes.
this cute, like little adorable. Like I just can't even imagine someone trying to fight you for being on a show. Like how ridiculous is that?
Yeah. People are crazy. They made so many rumors up, and I was like, I don't even know you.
Wow.
So let me ask you, Cindy, how did you get on the show? What was your experience? How did that work?
So my mother, my mom's a farm, so she was so excited to like want to throw me a Sweet 16, go above and beyond. Like my dad, you know, giving me everything that he couldn't give himself when he was a kid. So my godbrother had worked, you know, he was in video production. They brought, a clip. They followed me around for a little bit. And they were like, do you mind? And I was like, I really don't want to be on TV, to be honest with you. But my mom was like, no, let's do it. Let's do it. It's going to be great. We're going to have this memory for the rest of your life. And that's how that happened.
Well, I believe life is all about making memories, you know, so that's wonderful.
Exactly. But she wanted to go, woo, above and beyond then. And I was a little more in my shell. You know what I mean?
That is so funny because I was season 4, you were season 2, so you actually got on the show when it kind of was first starting. So you probably didn't know as much what to expect, right?
No, I didn't. It was wild. The experience behind the scenes, what actually made it onto TV as opposed to what I thought was going to be on TV. I was like, whoa.
Right.
Right.
And also, you know, people don't realize it was like they shot, it literally was just 20 minutes, but they shoot for so long. Like for me, they showed like, it was like 2 weeks straight or 3 weeks straight and like every single day, like 24/7. And they only showed 20 minutes. So it's like the craziest of the craziest.
Like you're running to the bathroom. If you shut your mic off, like when I shut my mouth, I was like, just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds to myself. They'd be banging on the bathroom door. I'm like, can I just pee?
Yeah, seriously. Like, you don't want to hear this. That's
So let me ask you, who came up with the theme Cinderella? Because that's like a fabulous
that was my wedding theme.
Yeah.
So I got some
That's hysterical.
Yes.
Hysterical about that is because my maiden name now is, what was my last name then? Cibarelli.
Mm-hmm.
So Cindy Cibarelli. People used to call me Cinderelli. Remember when the little fat mouse in Cinderella was like, Cinderelli, Cinderelli. So
that's so
that
funny.
was how kind of that came along because that was kind of like a nickname of mine for so long.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's such a good story, though.
Well, let me ask you, did you have a Cinderella wedding too?
No, actually, so I got married last year because of all this COVID BS.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little city hall wedding.
Oh.
And actually, my official wedding is this August in Mexico. I wanted to do a destination. I didn't want like something big. I was like, I had a lot of people for my Sweet 16. This one's trying to rip my hair out at the same time. And I always, like the beach is like my thing. I'm like a beach bum, even though I live over here, which is not that warm all the time, but I like to travel and I love the beach. And that was always something that was very intimate. So I was just like, you know what? I've never wanted a big wedding. I really didn't.
So you were the girl from Staten Island. Do you live in Staten Island now, or where are you living now?
I'm living in New Jersey now. I moved to Jersey about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And I just couldn't stand the way New York, even though Staten Island, most people will be like, it's the forgotten borough of New York. But it's just every part of New York started to turn to garbage. And I was just like, I just felt like I wasn't even myself anymore. I was like, let me get away without being like really far away. You know what I mean? So
Totally.
Being in Jersey, it's right over the bridge, but
Right.
it gave me a little more peace.
Definitely. Wait, so I want to talk about like the nitty gritty of Sweet 16
Yes.
because I can so relate. Like, did you, well, first of all, being on the show, your mom really wanted you to be on the show, it sounds like, which is interesting. Did that affect your relationship, like rewatching it back? Did it make you closer, make you more far apart, or at all, or just not at all?
I mean, me and my mom are just close. My mom is my best friend. Still to this day, like I basically have a room in my house for her.
So cute.
She helps me out with the baby being, having stepkids, moving, the whole nine, planning the wedding and all that. But I don't think it made our relationship any different, to be honest with you. I think maybe then it kind of made me like annoyed with my mom more because I was like, I didn't want any of this, to be honest. I mean, maybe then it was a little distant, but not really. No, we're still just as close as ever.
That's awesome.
I know on the show you were saying your mom is jealous of you, and did you feel bad afterwards when you were watching it and it, to your mom, did you feel bad that you said those things,
No, me and my mom have a wild relationship. You know what I mean? I call a spade a spade. That's how she raised me, and that's how we are today. But to be honest with you, a lot of it was also playing the part of being on MTV. They told you to spice things up a little bit, being behind the scenes. No one really thinks that or wants to hear it, but some things are very staged.
Right.
And some of those things were very staged,
I did want to ask you about that. Did you feel like the show portrayed you as you or not really?
I feel like it was not me at all.
Interesting. It's so funny that you say that because before coming on here, we rewatched your episode again. And my mom and I were talking and I was like, oh, I don't know, that wasn't very nice. She said that. I'm like, no, Mom, trust me. Like, okay, so you remember how you and I met? It was the MTV's giveaway Sweet 16. And we both were there at this like big giveaway Sweet 16. And I met you. And I remember
My Chemical Romance.
Yes,
too.
My Chemical Romance was playing. Like, it was so much fun. But I remember thinking, this girl is so sweet. Like, this girl would probably be like my best friend of all the Sweet 16ers. I feel like she's the girl I want to be most friends with. And you're like the only one I've kind of like kept up with. And it's so funny because I was like, she was so nice. And then you see this episode and you're like, it's not really, I didn't think it was really you, but it was also, it's MTV. It's like you literally see 20 minutes and they have to show the craziest of the craziest or it's going to be boring.
Look at it, MTV, Jersey Shore, Florida, all that crazy stuff. What they want is they want the drama to attract, the people to keep watching. Like, oh my God, this girl's awful, but I can't turn it off. You know what I mean?
Right. It's so interesting though. Like, yeah, because getting to rewatch them and hear all the different people on it. I mean, it was a fun show. Like, I literally can't believe, like, I remember after my show aired, people would come up to me and ask for, like, an autograph. And I'm like, you want my autograph? Like, I have the worst handwriting ever. Like, no, you do not. Like, you want a picture with me? Like,
people would be like, can I have a picture with you? I'd be shopping in Victoria's Secret with, like, a bra in my hand. I'm like, okay.
Exactly. So do you think, is she going to get a Sweet 16 too?
I was just going to ask that question.
If she wants it, she'll get it. Especially with her, she got her father wrapped around her finger.
It's so
she'll get anything she wants.
Wait, what's so funny? So on your Sweet 16, you had like a Prince Charming. Did you guys ever date after that or like during it? Were you actually dating? I just was curious if there's any like drama behind the scenes.
That's been a very big question since I was 16, to be honest with you. To be honest, was he a very good looking kid then and now? yes, we were friends. But they wanted me to have like a Prince Charming. And to be honest with you, I was not allowed to date then. So it was kind of like, they were like, oh, you guys have chemistry. He's going to dance with you.
Yeah.
You find him good looking. Okay. You know, stir the pot, MTV. Yes. That's what they do. And that's what they did. And a lot of, actually, funny thing, a lot of the fights, girls were like, oh, so you dated him, blah, blah, blah. Like they liked him. And I'm like,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, as we got older, we did start to hang out at some point, but I was like, I'm in a different place in my life. But he is still one of actually my closest friends.
Whoa.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's
nice.
Twist.
I know Cher probably could relate to you because she has older brothers too, like you do. So we definitely related as who Cher goes out with. They're eyeing the guy and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Do they are they close with your husband?
They are actually very close with my husband, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Shockingly, especially like, you know, my past relationship before that, it's crazy from then to now. You know what I mean?
Yes, totally. So do you regret going on the show, or are you glad you did it after all is said and done?
I wouldn't say I regret it. Am I happy about it? Not wild about it, but it's part of me and it's part of my life. So, I mean, I guess I'm, you know, it's definitely not a regret though.
Right. We learn a lot from it. I mean, I feel like it was such an experience, you know, like not many people get to say they did that, and like just to have that, to be able to watch back, it's still really fun, you know? Yeah.
It's crazy, really. You were beautiful. You were adorable at 16. You still are adorable. And I loved your gown you had. You really looked like a Cinderella.
Thank you.
You know, it's so...
I wanted a big poopy gown then.
Yes. It's so interesting because, you know, like we were saying before, Cher had a Cinderella wedding, and she left the wedding with her husband in a horse and carriage. But luckily they didn't come in the horse and carriage because we find out that her husband, Jared, is allergic to horses.
And we had like no idea. So luckily we were leaving the wedding and he's having the biggest allergy attack. And I'm like, what's wrong? Because he's like, can't stop sneezing. Yeah, so that was crazy.
That was really crazy.
So do you keep up with any other Sweet 16ers or not at all?
I talk to you. I've, talked to you most consistently since then. And every now and then Sophie, believe it or not.
Really?
Sophie Mitchell. Yeah, I talk to her here and there.
That's so funny.
Bjorn, I speak to occasionally. Like, I wish him happy birthday and stuff. Like, whenever we, write to each other, But you probably have been the most consistent.
Yeah. Aww, so sweet. I know, that's so nice. It is like cool because I feel like we share such a similar like background of what happened, and then getting to meet in person was so awesome. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was just so crazy. What was your favorite part of being on Sweet 16 and your least favorite part, would you say? To think about.
My favorite part actually was, meeting you and like meeting a bunch of the other girls and boys and really getting to know them, because you sit there and you watch it, right? And you're like, this person's a, pardon my French, an asshole.
Yes.
And you meet them and they're like the funnest, sweetest person with the biggest heart. And you're like, wow. Yeah. Like the way they could portray you in just 20 minutes of your life is the craziest thing. So that's probably my favorite part of actually getting to make the friendships that I have made and have kept, especially with that experience, because not many people can understand it. And people will be like, oh, what an experience. You got to be on TV, thinking that way. But it's different until you're behind the camera, behind the scenes of this, and how even 20 minutes can just alter your entire life.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Did you find those 20 minutes alter your life? Did you find a lot of people was coming up to you? Like you said, you had fights with people. Did other... Like, what happened after that?
Because, for me in my high school, everybody knew who I was after. It was, automatically, you're, that girl from Sweet 16. You're no longer, I was no longer Cher. I'm that girl from my Super Sweet 16. So, did you experience
still to this day. still to this day, some people will walk by me and they'll be like, "Sweet 16," and I'm like, "Wow!" I'm like this, you know what I mean?
Which is 16 years later. Like, that's insane.
Exactly. Like, I'm gonna be 33 in September, and I literally feel like every year since my Sweet 16 around my birthday, they play that same season, the same episodes, and I'm like, you just want to like give me like nightmares.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was literally just on People magazine for like, where are they now? And I'm like, I can't believe people still are talking about that show. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's amazing. But back to my mom's question. So yeah, how did it affect your life? So people would just start recognizing you, coming up to you. Do you feel like there was a lot of like jealousy surrounding you as well? Or people thinking all of a sudden like you have money, things like that?
Right away, it's, oh, this person likes you for this reason, and why I don't know why this person likes you, or oh, you're flaunting your money, and it was just a lot of hearsay. And it was a lot of jealousy. Well, what I felt was jealousy. I was getting phone calls that I was with someone's boyfriend and I was really home studying. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it was wild to see the outtakes of like how it made people feel like it's just Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Just get over it. Grow up. And so in that sense, I did get into a lot of fights from there.
Wow. Like actual
and
fist
even
fights?
as an adult, like work, like, I got into actual fist fights. Yeah.
Wow, really? Really?
Yeah.
Because you were on Sweet 16. You were on the show?
Wow.
Wow.
Because I was on the show, people made up rumors. Like, I would leave my school and then go visit my friend that lived, that was coming out of their school just a few blocks away, and we were going to go home together, and there was girls coming up to me, literally they wanted to fight me. And I had no tolerance for that. Like, I grew up with all brothers. So I'm like, listen, I have somewhere to be. So you want to fight me? Let's fight. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I mean, to be honest with you, that's still kind of how I am today. I'm so over the BS. And it was like, you don't even know me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know me.
Right.
You don't even try to get to know me. You just make your own judgments. And like, who are you to judge me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Who are you?
Totally.
No, because I don't even know your first name,
Wow.
Right.
That's
Wow.
crazy. I remember for me, there would be like guys would try to like want to like date you or hook up with you just to be able to say they were with like the Sweet 16er, the girl from Sweet 16. So you always had to be like cautious. Like, are you trying to be my friend? Or are you trying to, do you like me because you like me, or do you like me for the wrong reason? So I remember that was always a thing
you were with the girl that was on the Sweet 16.
Right.
People made up those rumors too. I was like, I don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I didn't have a relationship with him at all.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But look where you are now. So now you have this beautiful daughter. You're married.
Yeah.
Like, so what did your husband say when he found out about
Wait a minute.
it?
Did he watch the show?
Oh, that's a great question.
Did he ever get to watch the show?
He did. I actually went to high school with my husband.
Oh, what? He should have been Prince.
Wait a minute. Was he at the party?
No, he wasn't. No. We were in the same close friend group, but he was doing his wild teenage years being a boy then. So he was just very absent-minded then, to say the least.
God, that's so amazing that you met in high school. Wow.
That's high
That-
school sweethearts.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Funny.
is so cute. You know how my husband found out that I was on Sweet 16? We were on our first date, and we were outside by this like fountain, and he was like about to give me my first kiss. Or I think he just gave me my first kiss. And then a car comes by, rolls down the window, and goes, "Sweet 16." And he's like, "What was that?" I was like, I don't know. And I just like played dumb, and he did not know until like a month into us dating that I was even on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that still kind of happens now. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Oh my goodness.
I told my husband too, because we're still very good friends with the same people we were in the friend group with in high school. We all have kids. We're all married, and someone, a friend here and there will be like, hey, just put her Sweet 16 on. I'm like, Ben, his name's Benjamin, my husband. I'm like, I will divorce you. I'm like, let's not do that. That happened that long ago. I go, I watched it twice. And I won't watch it again. I was like, if you want to watch my regular Sweet 16, I have the regular DVD. we can watch the good one.
That's so funny. That is too funny. Yeah, my husband didn't see it until like 3 years into us dating, which is really funny. But yeah, it's too funny. Oh my goodness.
Sometimes it's like I'm back, like you hear that. I feel like sometimes I have PTSD if I hear the Sweet 16 song. I'm like, oh my god, it's so coming on.
That is so funny. Oh my goodness. Well, before we let you go, we always like to ask our guest on the show, what is one piece of advice that your mom gave you that you really respect, and what's one piece of advice that you plan to give your daughter?
Stay true to yourself, no matter what. People are always going to judge you, and at the end of the day, as long as you're true to yourself and you accept yourself and who you are, no matter what someone says about you, will never alter anything, the way you feel about yourself or how you live your life. And that's what my mom always said to me, and that's what I would say to my daughter as she gets older.
Aww. That's wonderful advice.
I love that one. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Chattermouth Podcast. It was so nice to speak with you.
It was very nice to speak with you, and thank you for having me and thinking about me.
About that time in our podcast where we're going to hit pause because we have something really exciting that we want to share with you.
We wrote a book together.
That's right. It's called A Bond That Lasts Forever, and basically it's how we got this close and how you can too. It goes over all of our life's ups and downs, our struggles and obstacles, and became as close as we are today.
We share tips and quotes and actionable steps on how you can create your own ideal relationship. We even share photos on us throughout the years, so you can see us on a whole different new level.
It's so true. Anyways, we loved writing this book, but we hope that you love reading it just as much, or maybe even a little bit more. Anyways, you can pick up the book at abondthatlastforever.com. You can get it at Walmart, on Amazon, at Barnes & Nobles,
or wherever you get your books.
Hey, you're stealing my line. Anyways, we hope you love reading it. Now, let's get back to the podcast.
I feel that you had a whole different experience. Hers was so negative, it seems like she put it in such a negative light. But with you, it was really you. It portrayed who you were, Sweet 16 and MTV. I mean, I understand they only showed 20 minutes, but no one can make you say things unless you're going to say it or you're going to act a certain way.
I think that you can kind of get caught up sometimes in the whole being filmed, and maybe she started to get caught up in the whole atmosphere and feeling maybe like, everyone's like, cameras are all on me. And the producers also try to make you start to feel like it's all about you, everything. So maybe she really started to...
But it is about you.
Right, it is about you. It's your Sweet 16 and everything. But I don't know, she didn't like the way she was portrayed. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, I do, watching my Super Sweet 16 episode back, I do feel like it was me. There's things that I did that I didn't like, but no one would force me to say that or do that. Like, that all did happen. Like, for example, my float wasn't decorated, and they said it was going to be all ready and everything was going to be great, looking great, and I came to see this float, and it wasn't at all how I expected, and I was upset. And I remember at one point starting to get really upset, and Grant was like, just like, take a breath, like, it's okay. And of course the producers probably would have wanted me to go over the top, but they can't make me do that, and that's not me. I'm not going to do that. I was upset. They're going to show my upsetness, because of course they only show your 20 minutes, but they can't make you be somebody you're not either.
Right. It's a shame that she has, like what I say, bad memories from it, and she had fights with people afterwards. I can't believe people try to
fight her afterwards. Oh my God.
I don't understand that.
I would have, I don't know what I would have done.
You are who you are, and I really felt that the cameras just followed you for 3 weeks. They just followed you around, and your experiences was so the opposite to me of her experience. I felt bad the way she had that experience because it is all about having great memories.
She is right in one thing. Like, met some of the people. I remember going into the reunion episode, and there was this one girl who was so mean on MTV's Super Sweet 16. She was literally so mean, and I was like nervous to meet her because I thought she was going to be so mean. And I get there, and she's just like this like kind of geeky like girl, very quiet. But I guess that's who she showed me, like who she was. But when no one else is around, she was more out there. I don't know. It's very interesting. I think it just kind of can bring out the best in people, and it can bring out the worst in people, you know, because you're like all the spotlight is on you, and it's like, what are you gonna do?
Well, maybe like you were saying, you get caught up in the moment and all. But the thing is that you are who you are, really, when you get down.
But that's what she said. She also like kind of she's a tough girl. I mean, that fact that she's like, listen, I don't got time for this. If they want to fight me, like, let's go. Yeah. I, on the other hand, would be like, I'm sorry. What did I do? Like, did I upset you?
Exactly. It's so funny that you said that when she says, well, I did fight them. I would never fight them. So
no, you've been in a fight before.
I had no choice when I was young, and my sister was right there. But I would say that I think she does have a tougher side to her, and then just that tougher side, which is great because it may be that's what she's strong. She's strong. Woman. Just showed more on her episode. Right. Well, you don't have that tougher side.
Yeah, I don't have that tough side. She also said on her episode, she's like, my mom's jealous of me, and she even when you confronted her about it, she admitted it. She's like, yeah, me and my mom just say what we say, and my mom's still my best friend, and like that's their relationship. You know what I mean? Like the fact that she could just say this is us. But I think that's good that you can just like, I don't know. I'm so cautious.
No, are you cautious what you say about me? I would never be able to say
it, but I wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. Like I wouldn't want to say something that I know could hurt your feelings.
Yeah, but you always say things, no matter what, you'll still tell me how you feel.
I'll tell you how I feel. But
maybe in public, you would say it in
No, I still private. Don't want to hurt your feelings, you know?
Right. You never want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's my Cher. I don't know. You're just such a good heart.
But it is cool. Like, I remember watching, she was season 2. I was season 4. Right. So, like, she was right in the beginning of all of this.
That's so true. I mean, her Sweet 16 to me was like amazing. I was in awe because it just brought back memories of your wedding, you know, because of the Cinderella wedding, and you had the horse and the buggy.
But it's so funny because then she said she got married at like a town hall. So it's just like she just got married. She didn't have a big wedding. She felt like she already did that for her Sweet 16. Right.
And it's so funny because it was so opposite of you, because now you wanted even a bigger wedding than you had for your Sweet 16.
I was like, I need to top my Sweet 16.
Yes, exactly.
Which, I don't know.
I think that
was right. But
you know why I think that was? And now looking back at it, because you had such a wonderful time and fabulous memories from the Sweet 16 that you wanted to top it, and you wanted to go through all that, you know, finding the best horse, the buggy ride, and being involved in the beautiful dress, while she didn't have such good experience from it, so she just wanted to get married and not have another party.
Maybe that's interesting.
That's my psychology.
That's your take on it. But you know, I still feel like, I guess that's interesting. It's a very interesting thought about it. But I have good memories from it. But like, when you're 16 years old, really you're 15, you're taping, and then you turn 16, like, you're so young, like, you're not in charge of your emotions, and you can get, you know, like, there's so much at stake, and you're, like, feeling like you're going to be in this show, and you want to make it over the top, this huge party, and like, there's a lot of pressure, and everyone wants to come, and so, you know, I could see it being hard on someone that's so young, having notes, you know what I mean? Like, it could... I don't know. Right. It's interesting. It's very interesting. But I mean, I thought it was a great experience. I still have so many fun memories from it.
I do. When I think about your Sweet 16, I just have a big smile on my face, you know. And it was so much fun going shopping. We were shopping for jewelry. We did every little thing together. And when you did the magic show, you know, and it was just such a great, I think about it. It's like, wow, you know, like I could redo the whole thing all over again. And I bet you're gonna make a great Sweet 16 for
if
Belle
she wants
someday.
One. I know, only if she wants one.
I'm sure she'll want one.
That'd be fun. But it is crazy. 16 years ago now. Can you believe that? 16 years
Makes
ago.
me feel so old.
Me too. Oh my gosh. Like, 32. I'm about
Oh,
to bet. It's
please. I should only be 32.
You know what? It's annoying when you say that. You say that every single year, making it like, oh, you're so young. It's like, no, I'm actually like getting older now.
Oh,
like,
please.
you say that because you're old, but
Thanks.
but like, I'm getting older too. Like, we're growing up. Like, this face is gonna get wrinkles soon.
No,
Ain't fun.
never.
Like,
Gotta wear
I've
the
got a gray
cream.
hair. No, like I have to dye my hair. So it's like really annoying. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, this is so funny. But this was fun. It was so fun, just like
so
reminisce with her
fun.
too.
Yes, it was.
I still remember meeting her.
And,
She's so
and
cute.
it's interesting getting another girl's take on their
Yeah.
party. You know, it's just so different that it was like mind blowing to me. You know.
Yeah. That is interesting, especially because you have such people like when they meet you and they hear you're on Sweet 16, they have such like preconceived ideas of what
Yes.
you're gonna be like. You know, I wonder if actually I should have asked her this. I wonder if she feels like a pressure to be different from her episode. You know, sometimes when someone meets me and they didn't watch my episode, I like wonder if they're gonna think I'm just like this. I remember when I was younger and someone was like, hey, were you on that Sweet 16 show? I heard you were. I'd be like, yeah, but I'm not like a spoiled brat. Like I'm
Right.
trying to be nice. Like, you know, I always had to like follow it up with that.
But you weren't a spoiled brat,
no,
and you
thank you.
never
Well,
were,
it's 'cause
and you're not.
Thank
And
you.
they couldn't portray that on
Aw,
you.
thank you. Well, you were my best friend. You still are my best friend. And so I think it was just a fun experience for us.
Yes,
Totally.
it was.
Anyways, this was such a fun, super sweet episode. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Chattermouth Podcast. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.